Hey everybody, Yankee here. It's time for part 9 of our new series, What Guns Are Viewers Carrying? And at this point, if somebody would like to shoot me, just let me know. Send me an email and I will send you back my schedule of where I'm going to be and when so we can get this over with. But for now, let's go ahead and get started with part 9. All right, first we have Sean Beasley. And he is from Georgia, even though that last name would make you think he's from Hogwarts. I don't think I've heard anybody with a real name of Beasley outside of like wizard fiction. Now, I know there was a Mrs. Beasley on A Family Affair, but I'm pretty sure she was just a doll. So this is the first real person I think I've ever met actually named Beasley, even though I haven't actually met him. I just see a picture of their gun. And they are, like I said, from Georgia, and they're carrying a Canik TP9 Elite SC. And this gun is very cool looking. It's got some sort of weird Damascus patterning all over it. And I was like, did they have this done? I like that gray frame. I like that paint job. So I was curious and I looked it up. It actually came that way. That's actually a tungsten finish with a Damascus pattern in it, and it looks really cool. So I wanted to show this gun just for that right there. This is a Canik TP9 Elite SC being carried by Sean Beasley, who I assume is a real person in Georgia. All right, next we have Brendan from Minnesota. And like I've said before, I cannot do a Minnesota accent. I've never gone long enough without oxygen getting to my brain to be able to do that. So we'll just have to take what I can do there. And he is supposedly carrying 2 guns, a SIG P365XL and a Colt Python. Now, one of these guns I couldn't care less about. One I really love. I'll let you guess which one. Wrong, it's the Python that I actually love. And based on this Python and the grips he's got on it, I think we can see what Brendan does for a living. And I do want to thank him for actually wiping down the gun, and you can tell he's wiped it down because there's no makeup, wig hair, or hooker blood on the gun. And some of you out there might be thinking, well, they probably wipe it down every time they smack a hoe. But that's really not the case. You want a little bit of hooker blood left on there just so everyone knows you mean business. So thanks to him for wiping it down. But like I said, one really nice gun here. One I couldn't care less about, the P365XL, which just doesn't make sense to me. But the Colt Python, this 3-inch Colt Python, that's an amazing gun, and I actually like those grips. All right, next we have Jason from Washington, and he's carrying a Beretta PX4 Storm. I believe this is a compact, and this is an LTT model. So this has been all beautified and tactified by old Ernst, and this is a gun I really like. Not only do I like the changes that Langdon Tactical has done to this gun, I like the finish on the slide, I like the safeties better. I just think that the PX4 Storm is just a highly underrated gun. I think it's one of the best polymer guns on the market. Now, the only thing I don't like about this gun is it's got the fucking tar paper wrapped all over the grip, the damn skateboard tape on everything here, and I don't like that. How greasy are you people that you can't hold on to textured plastic? What are you doing, Jason? Are you walking around all day long eating fried chicken with your fingers? And that's why you have to have that? I can't think of any legitimate reason why people couldn't just hold on to their freaking guns, but it seems a lot of people like to do this, and Jason from Washington is one of them with his Beretta PX4 Storm LTT. All right, next we have Sean, and at least he spells his name right. There's no way in the world that S-E-A-N spells Sean. I don't care what anybody says. So it's nice to see he spells it right. And he is from Pennsylvania, and he's carrying a Ruger LCR-X. And not just any Ruger LCR-X. This is the one with that copper-colored cylinder. That is beautiful. I mean, I know it's not the best looking gun in the world, but that little accent is so nice. I like that a lot. Now you can tell by looking at the cylinder that it's the 38 Special model, which is I think the only model they did this in, because it's got more of a shape to the front of it. Kind of looks like a Gatling gun barrel. I really like that barrel shape and I like that color on it. This is one of the few times I would think it's okay to carry a 38 Special without people making fun of your vagina, because it's an aesthetic choice. This is one of the few times where form is more important than function. And in this case, fashion is more important than function, because that cylinder is really cool, so I can see why you would take the risk carrying a 38 Special. It is Sean in Pennsylvania and his Ruger LCRX. All right, next we have Sith Lords 2, which is sad because that means there was a big enough nerd out there that Sith Lords was already taken when he set up his screen name. And he is from Florida. And even though he's obviously a huge nerd with all the Star Wars stuff there, he still has great taste in guns, very manly taste in guns, because he's carrying a Smith & Wesson 686, and these are awesome. This is a plus model, so it's 7 rounds of .357 Magnum with a 4 1/4 inch barrel. And one thing I think Sith Lord and I can both agree on is that 4 1/4 inches is perfect. That is enough for any situation. You never need bigger. In fact, maybe even a 1/2 inch less would be better, maybe more perfect. At least that's what my mom always told me. So here we have Sith Lords 2 in Florida with his Smith & Wesson 686 Plus. All right, next we have Rob in Idaho. And whenever I say Idaho, I gotta say Idaho, no Idaho. And so in this case, I guess Rob is the hoe. And he's carrying a gun we haven't seen yet, as far as I can remember. It's an FN 509. And this gun, the FN 509 that he's carrying, is one that I thought we would actually see more of in this series. But as of right now, this one from Rob in Idaho is the only FN 509 I've seen so far. Oh, and Rob, if you got any contacts in your state legislature, get on them and have them go ahead and approve that Greater Idaho thing so Oregon can get rid of some of that tax wasteland down at the bottom of the state. All right, next we have Randy from Maine. Remember that? Randy! Not Andy, Randy. This is from something totally different. This is not Pee-wee's Big Adventure. But he is in Maine. And he is carrying supposedly 2 guns. I don't actually believe he carries both of these. Far be it from me to call him a liar, but I think he's a liar. But he's saying he carries a Canik TP9 Elite SC, which this is the second one of these we've seen on this video. And this one also has a really cool paint job. So it looks like they're putting out some pretty interesting looking guns. But the main reason I wanted to show both of these is because he's also got a Rossi 971. And I think this is one of the coolest designs ever as far as revolvers are concerned. This gun is awesome. I love the way this thing looks. I wish we would see more guns made from this design. I love that barrel. I love that oversized rib on the top with the sights. I just like the way this gun looks. Now he's got some nice wood grips on it here, but I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he carved them out there so he can use a speed loader, or maybe he was attacked by beavers. I don't know. He does live in Maine. I think there's beavers in Maine, so that's a possibility. But I wanted to show this mainly because of that Rossi 971 that Randy in Maine is supposedly carrying. All right, next we have Mike in Nebraska. And Mike is carrying a Smith & Wesson 629. This is a 6-shot 44 Magnum gun. He's even got a little hollow sun up there. Looks like he bought one of the attachments to replace the rear sight. This is awesome. Although I don't know what Mike in Nebraska needs a 44 Magnum for. I mean, it's not like he's going to be attacked by bears. The last black bear seen in Nebraska was decades ago. And I'm pretty sure the Klan got to him. So I don't think there's a lot of big threats in Nebraska. Well, they do have buffalo, bison, but that's basically just cows with afros. I don't think those are going to be of any danger to anyone. But, better safe than sorry. So he's carrying a 44 Magnum, Mike from Nebraska, and his Smith & Wesson 629. All right, next we got Frankie from Wisconsin, and he's showing us 2 guns here. Now, like I said, I don't like it when people show 2 guns, but he's actually got a reason here. He carried the Glock 33, but he's got MS. I think it's MS. It's something like that. And he has had to switch to a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield from the Glock 33. And the reason he did that is because he can get a better grip on the M&P Shield. That just goes to show you that one man's trash can be another man's treasure. And in the case of Frankie from Wisconsin, that's the case. Now, I do feel sorry for him for having to go from the superior Glock to the Shield, which I just don't like. But I guess it's better to have something than nothing. Well, unless, of course, that something is MS. I guess he would probably rather not have that. But in this case, it's nice to see he found something that works for him, the Smith & Wesson Shield. And like I said, that's Frankie in Wisconsin. All right, now we have Dark Star. And I don't think that's his real name. Unless he changed it to that. I mean, people do change their name to weird things. I've thought about changing my name to the Yankee Marshal. And then people will know. They won't have to wonder anymore if I've lost my marbles. They'll know for certain that I have. Because that is a sure sign of craziness. That'd be like getting my logo tattooed on my arm like some sort of narcissistic douchebag. So, not really going to be doing that. So let's look at Dark Star from Florida's carry here. He actually carries 2 guns, and I can believe he carries both of these because one of them is a small little backup gun. He carries a Glock 19 as his primary that he's made some changes on here. It looks like he's got an extended barrel, probably comped. Looks like he's got a mag well put on it. Looks like he's got extendos, which clearly means he's in a gang. Although with a name like Dark Star, I don't know what kind of nerd gang he would be in, but it's clearly a gang. And his backup is a little 380 Ruger LCP. So this is one of those combinations I can actually believe someone is carrying. Now, I do like the hobo quilt background. It really sets off the black guns here. So many people in Florida and Ohio and other states like that, where there is no hope or happiness or joy, would choose a black background to represent the desolation of the universe as they see it. So it's a nice change, seeing a little bit of color here. And this is Dark Star in Florida, showing us his Glock 19 and his Ruger LCP. All right, there's part 9. Part 10 should be coming soon, unless someone takes me up on my earlier offer.